Hi guys, this is Sean. I'm Sean again. I know it's been a few, like at least 3 months since my last review, and that was because if you haven't noticed by this oxygen cord, I've been in the hospital, or I was in the hospital for like a couple months ago, and it was because I had heart and lung problems, which date back to my birth. So I was in the hospital for a couple weeks. I was in Hurley, and they sent me home thinking I was better, but then I got worse again. So I had to go back to Hurley. They found what was wrong, and they didn't specialize in it, so they sent me to a different hospital, U of M, to U of M Flint Medical Hospital campus, and they got me all situated and whatnot. So I'm back home now. I'm on oxygen. I barely leave my house because of this, but I do every once in a while leave my house, go somewhere. I haven't been to a movie since August, since before I went in the hospital. And the last movie I saw was Percy Jackson, but I'm not reviewing that one. I'm going to review the new Chucky movie, Curse of Chucky. Being my last review was Bride and Seat. Um, this movie I thought was the best. It was the best of the six. It was it was worth the wait, in my opinion. It was absolutely worth the wait. Granted, there are some continuity issues with this movie, like the fact that once Chucky is in the doll body, at, at the end there's a part where uh, I'm not sure if this is gonna be spoiler, but it's pretty much gonna be spoiler, where Nika goes to where the main character Nika, played by Fiona's daughter, or Brad Dourif's daughter, Fiona Dourif. Yes, Brad Dourif does come back for Chucky. They couldn't do a Chucky movie without him, surprisingly. They almost didn't do one without him. They almost did this without him, I think, because it was originally going to be a reboot. But they were originally going to remake the first movie, but the first movie, parts of the rights are still owned by United Artists, or MGM UA. So they couldn't do a remake, which is why a few years ago when they released the later four movies in a set, they couldn't put the first one in because of MGA. Fixing my shirt. Is because of MGM UA. But now there's a 6-film set out, and I hope to get it soon. But when Nika goes to stab Chucky in the back, when she pulls out the knife, we see stuffing, like doll stuffing. There's no blood on Chucky. And that's because if you've watched the first movie, or at least the other ones, it takes more than a day for Chucky to turn human. And this movie is set within one day. Or within a night, basically. One day, one night, same thing. So Chucky is not turning human yet. And I'm sure a lot of fans are pissed about that one because of what was established in the other 5 movies. Which is completely understandable because they've grown up with fans who are in their 20s, 30s. They've grown up with the originals, with the other 5 movies. Completely understandable if they're pissed. But I'm okay with it because I know how long the movie takes place within one day, so I'm fine with it. Let's see. This movie basically pretty much dates back to the first movie, where we see why Chucky was, or Charles E. Ray, I guess, his human name, why he was running, down the street away from the cops. It was because when he was alive, he was, I don't want to say in love, more like obsessed with this woman's named Sarah. So he basically killed Sarah's husband by drowning him because Chucky wanted to be part of the family. And so Chucky basically became obsessed with Sarah and started making her life a living hell, basically. And so Sarah turned him over to the cops, and we get the scene from the first movie. And then that's how Chucky basically is possessed the doll, is because the girl he loved and was in love with was never in love with her, with him, and basically turned him over to the cops. So now, 25 years later, Chucky is back to finish a job he started, which I think started with drowning the husband. That's what I'm guessing. So Chucky kills Sarah, makes it seem like a suicide, and so Nika's family basically come to comfort her for the death. So Nika gets Chucky in the mail, or Sarah gets Chucky in the mail, kills her. The family comes to comfort Nika, and then once Nika's niece Alice sees Chucky and falls in love with him, you know we're in for a wild ride. Chucky starts picking people off one by one until the very end he's with Nika. And Nika is the only survivor aside from the little girl. Nika and the little girl are the only two survivors of this film. And Nika is put into a mental hospital, just like Andy's mother was at the beginning at the end of the first, between the first and the second film. I'm sorry for the stuttering. I get that from my mother's side, so I'm sorry for the stuttering. But yeah, this film I thought was really. This film was written and directed by Don Mancini, the guy who wrote and directed Seed of Chucky. So I'm sure a lot of fans are expecting this to be a big flop. But this is actually a good movie. I loved it, enjoyed it. This is actually a sequel to Seed of Chucky, not 3. For all those rumors of it being after 3, lies. All lies. But yeah, because like hour into this movie, I think Chucky starts peeling off his face, and then we slowly see the scars underneath, and that's a direct hint that this is after Seed of Chucky. And this one goes back to its horror roots, the series' horror roots of the first 3 movies, which is why Chucky, I guess you could say, is in the shadows for most of the movie, for most of the beginning of the movie, and then he doesn't actually come alive, I guess you could say, where we see him alive, and like halfway through, like it was in the first movie. So it's basically a sequel, but continuously it's a sequel. Continuity-wise, it's a sequel, but tonally a reboot. It's kind of a sequel and a reboot, if you think about it. But yeah, I love this movie. Thought it was the best of the series. I would, I don't know what word I want to say, but I expect everyone to see this movie who is a fan of Chucky. You know, just sit back and enjoy this. I'm guessing final chapter of the original series. There are 2 cameos in this movie. 2 series cameos. One is a cameo we kind of guessed what's going to happen. Jennifer Tilly makes a cameo as Tiffany. No big surprise there. But the surprise cameo is at the very end of the movie, after the credits. Because we get to see another Child's Play veteran. A grown-up Andy Barclay, played by the original actor, Alex Vincent. Yeah. It's awesome. And he actually blows Chucky away. Finally, I think. Or until we get the reboot. Planned reboot, so we don't know. I don't know yet. But I thought this movie was fantastic. I loved this movie. Thought it was really good, fantastic, enjoyable. I recommend any Chucky fan to see this movie and enjoy it. And at least attempt to enjoy it, if not, just watch it. So, I think, I'm sorry that this review is 3 months and 4 days late. Because like I said, I was in the hospital, still trying to recover from my my sickness, and I'm still trying to recover. Every day I keep trying. I'm trying to get my strength back. Every day I'm fighting the good fight. I'll try to get back on the regular schedule every week or so, but I'm not making any promises. All right, so I'm out of here. Peace.